So is Dr. J and Moses Malone. I like slam dunks that take me to the hoop. My favorite play is the alley-oop. I like the pick and roll. I like the give and go. Cause it's basketball. Mr. Curtis Blow. They're playing basketball. We love that basketball. They're playing basketball. We love that basketball. I used to go to dinner and take the girl to see Tiny play against Earl the Pearl that was Wilt. Big O and Jerry West, they played basketball at its very best. Basketball has always been my thing. I like Magic Bird and Bernard King. And number 33, the man, Kareem, is the center of my Stone Age team. Yes. It's basketball.
It's basketball.
Only were you in the joint. The night Wilt scored 100 points. Or when the Celtics won titles back-to-back and didn't give nobody no kind of slack. Or when Dr. J shook the whole damn team with moves that came right out of a dream. Or when Willis Reed stood so tall playing deep with his eye. At basketball. We're playing basketball. To the ball, y'all. We love that basketball. The bill. We love that.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Good Saturday morning. In order not to break any copyright laws, that was me from about 10 years ago in a drunken stupor doing Curtis Blow basketball.
Hey! Who has the best entertainment on the internet? Not just picks. Not just aliens, not just conspiracies. We got the Red Rocket Rapper.
Man, that's pretty tight, man.
That's pretty good. Yeah, who's got that? See some horses in the background. What up, Dougie? Morning, Daniel.
Yeah. Good morning, Doug. Good morning, Daniel.
Welcome. All right, we have races today with the horses in the background, and Tony will be hanging on after we talk the games, and he's going to talk with Vic DeNick. I'm not sure if you know Vic DeNicholas. Was he from the Meadowlands there, Tony?
Meadowlands, that's the run there, harness racing mainly, but
but what was he, an announcer there? He did something over there at the Meadowlands, Vic DeNick. So he's heavily into the horses. He works for me. But I'm not a horse guy. You know, usually I bet them at 10-1. They come in about 10 after.
Yeah.
So
Lucy didn't come home till 5 to 2. Yes.
Yeah.
That's the episode of the Andy Griffith show where Floyd the barber brought on a new barber from out of town. Turns out the guy was a bookie and left Raleigh to get away from the heat. So he's like running this bookie out of Floyd's barber. And so they're sitting at home having breakfast, and Aunt B's telling Andy, "Yes, I talked to Sarah, and she was talking. He keeps all kinds of crazy hours. He didn't get home the other night till 2:05, that kind of shit." And Andy's sitting there going, "Wait a minute, Daisy, he's dating a girl seeing Daisy Lil." So it's kind of funny, man.
Yeah, I actually, you know what? When I played Tony Soprano out here on the Strip, I actually got to toast all the mayors. There's 100 mayors, and I introduced Mayor Goodman one time. And I drove that joke, and boy, oh boy, I knocked it out of the park with that one. It's an old joke, but
it works, right?
Well, Oscar Goodman's a gambler as well. And I said something, last time I got a tip from Oscar, he gave it to me. The horse goes off at 10-1. It comes in at 10 after.
Yeah, I know from my experience, man, like at family gatherings, that everybody finds things a bit more funny if they've had a cocktail or two in them.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, even mediocre jokes become hilarious, side splitting.
Yeah, and I was allowed to have a cocktail or two before my little appearances because it loosens things up.
Oh, yeah.
They get more for their money. What do you want me to tell you? So, all right. Hey, I won yesterday. Imagine that. Got to be the first time ever, right, Eli? I know you're watching, you fucking pedophile pusher.
Oh.
So, anyway, I had a nice little winning day, and that makes me happy. And hopefully I parlayed into another winning day here today. I am really just kind of looking at baseball. We only got a couple of days left in the basketball season. Not sure what to expect, and I don't feel like digging for that. So I'll let you start us off while I get this call here real quick, Tony. So why don't you rattle off some rattle off some baseball, rattle off your recap. Go ahead.
All right, yeah, baseball yesterday. Yesterday, Best Bet split. NBA keeps winning, won with the Wizards. Baseball, we lost with the Reds. Day, I'm going to come back. Fair price, San Francisco Giants. Johnny Cueto is going to be my best bet today. Looking for them to bounce back off the low-scoring loss with Gausman on the mound. I did have a play with San Francisco initially yesterday, but it got scratched due to a pitching change by the Pirates. Line went from about 140 to damn near 200. And, of course, the Pirates grind out a low-scoring game. Gausman tried to milk that 1-0 lead all the way into the ninth inning. Then he got in a little trouble. Pirates were able to tie up 1-1, won an extra inning. So going back with them, that's my best bet today. Johnny Cueto on the mound, San Francisco Giants, minus 115. Also going to play Sheffield at home for Seattle at minus 104. They did get the win last night against Cleveland after losing the first game of the series. And playing a 2-team parlay today, another one of those. Chicago White Sox with Rondon, one of the few remaining pitchers whose team is undefeated in their starts. That's Carlos Rodon of the Chicago White Sox. I'm going to pair him up with the Philadelphia Phillies. Comes out to about plus 169 on the 2-team parlay. And then, of course, as always, the 3-play action pack. Today I'm going with the Cardinals, the Washington Nationals, and the Detroit Tigers as my 3-pack of action. Wainwright, Ross, and Urena. Odds are plus 119, minus 119, and plus 122 respectively, Lou. And that's my entire Major League Baseball card. San Francisco Giants, best bet.
All right. Nice full slate there for everybody. And hey, Doug, looking at that Boston game over, thought about it myself. John Hahn, Mets, nice fat doggy, plus $1.42. The Giants, minus $1.15. And the Braves, minus 114. Thanks for the plays, guys. So John Hahn, been on fire, so I've heard. And have a few of the guys a little rattled when they don't have his picks, I guess. So let's pay attention to what John's got to offer. Doug, I'm going to kind of agree with you, but I'll still think that Red Sox are probably the play here. I think they're the side. Tampa Mets, I lose it yesterday. That was my one loser with the over. I think I'm still going to roll with that one here today. Play a little something on that over. I will certainly roll with my Oakland A's again. Played them yesterday. I'll play them again here today. And I agree with you. I mean, the White Sox, without a doubt, I mean, they're just on fire versus left-handed pitchers, and they got a guy that hasn't lost with them yet. So I am going to tie them into the NHL. So we might as well just segue into the NHL because there's my baseball action, except Doug's coming in with the San Diego game over with Paddock on the mound. So something for you guys. It's the question on the question mark.
Yeah, I did. Who are they playing again? I did notice.
St. Louis, Wainwright.
Yeah, I did end up taking St. Louis. And I think that Paddock it didn't look like a good spot for him. I'll be honest. I was one of the main reasons I ended up taking St. Louis. I always like to flip from game 1 to game 2. So San Diego pulled out a pretty tight game last night, I do believe. Paddock, not a good spot for him. And I agree. The over, usually when I think it's not a good spot for a pitcher, I'd be more inclined to lean over, although I don't really bet them. But I do think that game has more potential to go over tonight. So, yes, Doug, I think that's a possibility. Paddock, I'm not expecting him to do great today.
Man, St. Louis, I would always this year lean over. especially we got a 7 on the number, so you got a decent number too. So I have to agree with the lean towards the over in that play. So, all right. So NHL, yes. I know you said, and I'm not going to try to spoil it for everybody, but I know you like the Caps, but I really like the Caps plus the 1.5 too. And I think that's where you're going to tie. That's where I'm going to tie my White Sox. I'm going to tie them with the Caps plus the 1.5 at home against a team that they've dominated at home for years. So I'm just looking for that to continue here today. So Edmonton is probably the play. You can maybe tie them in there as well. And over the 6 is a lean on that. And that's pretty much my hockey thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, they played Tuesday. Washington beat the Bruins 2-1, low-scoring game. I agree. I just – the line kind of confuses me here a little bit because I initially, before I even look at the line, I kind of gauge what I think. I mean, I'm looking at, like, Washington minus 120. Instead, they're giving me Boston at, it's something in the same range.
Right.
I'm just going to end up with the Capitals here. First play. The other one I just left alone. See how this first game of the series goes and maybe try to play based off that. Sometimes you kind of hope when you don't play that the underdog can sneak one in perhaps so you can set up for a little better play on the favorite the next game. That's probably going to be a series I'm going to have a little more trouble betting because the lines are probably going to be pretty skewed unless I think I can sneak in an underdog play. But for sure, without a doubt, for me, the best play in the NHL to start the playoffs here in day one will be the Capitals as a small underdog. I mean, it's just the way to go. And we'll starting this NHL playoff March. I've had reasonable success over the years just doing these playoffs in the NHL. Did real well last year. So we'll see if we can repeat it again this year and start off with the Capitals.
All right. Well, I think we're going to get a winner there today. All right, so a couple days left in the NBA. We'll just run through them real quick, whatever you like, and then I'll switch seats and we'll put Vic Dinick in the seat, and you guys can talk about the Preakness. But John Hahn, before that, he'll start us off, kick us off in the NBA with the Miami Heat under 232. So that's what John's got rolling here today for us. The Heat under 232 in the NBA. Smoke them if you got them, guys. Put them out there. Red, what about you?
Yeah, NBA, man. Last night, Washington, third straight win, and it gets me to the high mark for the season again. With that win last night, sitting at 79 wins, 54 losses, 2 draws. That's got me in that 59.3% range again. Still trying to muster it up to 60. It's going to be close. I think I need to win these last 2 to get it up there. Going to go with the Knicks today. Only play really limited. Damn near can find a reason not to bet any of these games today. But Knicks will end up being my sole play, my best bet play. And I think that's probably where you can sneak in a clean winner. New York Knicks -6 against the Charlotte Hornets, who've kind of tapered off. They've held on to their position 8 quite well. I don't believe they're in any danger of not getting in. And I think the Knicks could probably move up here with a little bit of luck, maybe even get into a home. Right now they're in 6. With a miracle, they could get into a 4th seed. I think I was trying to go through all the possible scenarios. Bottom line, the motivation should be there. Knicks playing well. Got a reason to give some effort tonight. Charlotte, not as much, and they've been slumping. Give me the Knicks -6, and that's my only play tonight.
All right. I don't know if what I'm doing here. I'm trying to let everybody know something went wrong, and I don't know why that happened. But Greg, I blocked you there. Okay, there it is. Knicks. Greg's going with the Knicks as well. All right. So is that pretty much it for our NBA action here today?
That's all I'm touching on, unless we just wanted to go over games.
No, unless anybody's got something.
No.
Excuse me.
Again. And again.
Thank you. And Vic, are you ready to jump in and talk some horses?
Yes, sir.
You ready to talk some horses, Tony?
Sure, I'm watching this race come down here. Let's see. Looks like the 6. Oh boy, it's gonna be tight. Nah, 6 has got it. Oof, up the rail. Oh my God, that was really, really close. Maybe the 6. I don't know who anybody had. They just ran the 4th race from Pimlico. I think the Preakness is race 13. That's going to be many, many hours. Come on in and join us, Vic. Let's talk some horses.
What did you do at Meadowlands? What are your credentials in the horse field?
I used to do handicapping central, and I had invented Harness Insider, which was a tout sheet sold by me and Gary DeLeo back in the 90s.
All right, this handicap. I'm just putting the caption in so everybody get an idea of who the fuck you are.
I knew the Meadowlands is known for the harness racing. I know that's probably
all right, guys.
Yeah,
the big money harness track.
We're getting some fresh air.
How's it going, Vic?
Good to see you. A big Pimlico day today. And I remember we had discussed the Derby, where I was right. I was right about the favorite being out of it.
Right. I think we both kind of agreed on that not really thinking. And I'm not a big favorite player anyway. And he didn't run a step, to be honest. Not really many of them. But if you watch that race over and over again, you could probably find about 4 or 5 horses make a legitimate excuse. They just got fucked. It's somewhere around the track. They just terrible. There was like 4 or 5 horses just got the most brutal trips you can imagine. But when you have that many horses, that's kind of to be expected. You really, as the jock, I'm assuming your first and foremost important thing is to get the hell out of the gate and find a place to run where you don't get bottled up.
Yeah, once you lose ground, it's almost impossible to overcome the trip. It's almost
right. The best you can hope for is to try to maybe get over to the rail and hope you can sneak through without, hesitation late. But how often do you get that where it just opens up like the sea at the top of the stretch or something? Not all the time. I see it occasionally, but not very. Those horses that get pinned on the rail usually get fucked. They'll be trying to get out the whole straightaway. They're trying to get out, looking for room, trying to get out,
right.
Looking for room.
It's amazing how guys will just keep going. They'll give up. They'll be in a 4 path. Another guy comes to the 5 path, to the 6 path.
Wheel out. Yeah, that's a lot of
going wider and wider. And by the time you hit the 3/4 pole, you're on empty. You can only take so much trip.
Right, an extra 50 feet fanning out into the park. I used to say they fan out into the parking lot, dude. God damn, dude.
But that was a surprise to me. Even looking at it now, even looking at that replay on that Baffert horse, the horse to me, eyeball, has no stature to him. Kind of like a little bit of a runt, like not much size.
Right. I was surprised they carried it. I'm not saying it was like incredibly fast, but it sure as hell wasn't a slow pace that first half mile.
And uncontested.
And to see those two horses make it all. I don't see that usually. I think it was 46.
Yeah, looking at it here, so they went 46-3, which isn't, it's just okay. And
yeah.
111 and change. And then at top of the stretch, they were flanking him, and it looks like normally they would swallow that horse.
Right. That's why I was watching. I was waiting for those guys to come on around, but god damn, dude. And I'll tell you what, I did not really look at the form much today because I'm going to be frankly honest. I studied the form my ass for the Kentucky Derby, and that fucking form got me off the fucking 7 horse, which pissed me off because initially I had 1, 7, 8, 9, 15. Ended up after a night of study taking the 7 out and putting the 17 in, which cost me the exacta. I'd have nailed the exacta, because it just ended up screwing me over. So today I kind of put that form back off to the side and just going back to my normal everyday handicap.
I don't know anybody who picked that horse. I don't know anyone who picked that horse. I looked in the daily racing form.
I like the 8. I did. I like the 8, and I like what they said that the horse hadn't been passed. I do like that for a younger horse. That to me, that tells me that when horses get up with them, it makes them maybe run a little tick fast. Natural. The horse wants to go. He doesn't want to be passed. So I did have that horse in my ticket. The one that pissed me off was not having that 7, which maybe this upcoming week after they run this race, Monday or Tuesday, that 7 horse might actually end up being the winner of the Derby. And,
there's a couple odd factors. I don't know if you looked into this. First off, there's only 10 horses in this race.
Which I like. That's better. Yeah, I can handle 10 way better. Let me pull up while you're talking. Go ahead.
And coming out of that, I was very surprised that the horses that really never contested that race, that really didn't get into it, mostly opted out. So all the horses that took money in the Derby are skipping this race. And Pimlico is notorious for being speed biased.
Well, it's a tad bit shorter. I know that. So
right. Yeah,
tad bit shorter.
Yeah, you're a mile 3/16. But usually, if you have a lead down to the half at Pimlico, you're usually be on the board. It's not like the Derby where they get swallowed up. Pimlico is usually a lightning fast track for that day, unless it's rain.
It's fast. I was already watching. It's going to be pretty fast today. It looks like there's a speeds carrying pretty well these first 4 races up here.
Now the other factor, I don't know if you know this. It's interesting. Baffert has been on a streak of post-race positives, and he was
not good. Is
this horse that won the Derby came up with a drug in him.
Right, and that's. I was telling everybody, it's kind of like NASCAR, man, where the old saying with the Southern boys, with the NASCAR, with all the rules, with the engines and all that shit. The old saying goes, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. So basically what that means is whatever the rules are, if you're not pushing it right to the razor's edge, then you ain't trying hard enough.
But what's crazy is this is,
sixth, seventh time, right?
I mean, he's had multiples, even in California. It's like, how much are they going to take of this? And the other trainers, like when you get to the point where you go, you get them on a side, you go, hey, Bob, you know what? Like we've had it with this whole routine. Like in harness right now, the top harness trainer in the country is under scrutiny. And I personally know that there's 29 indictments right now by the FBI for horses right now, for horse people. So this is getting serious right now with this investigation. It made national news.
Right.
So right now, these guys are under the microscope. So to have positives right now, I mean, you would think it wouldn't happen. So it's almost like it's like a dual.
Well, what was he saying? It was a topical cream or whatever, I think was.
Well, they always have a story.
Yeah, I think that was the story this time, is the some kind of topical, and they put the name on it. That shit don't mean nothing to me, the name of some drug or whatever. But obviously he knows what you know what you're doing, man. That's my point. Nothing goes into those horses or on those horses without those guys knowing exactly what they're eating, drinking, rubbing on them, spraying them down with. Right. So yeah, it's a lame excuse.
If I take you in the gym and I have you lift, and then I give you a 3-day break, and I give you some
supplement
drugs.
Yeah, some supplement to help you.
I guarantee you'll be able to lift more. In other words, there's things that immediately enhance.
Right, and it's a breathing thing too. It was a respiratory drug, which you can imagine. It's the same with the Lasix they give these horses. It helps those bastards breathe in that last couple 100 yards when normally you would probably be sucking wind and slowing down. Those drugs make these horses able to take a couple deep breaths. And like I said, that 8 kept going in the Derby, dude. I'm gonna be honest. At the top of the stretch, that did not look like that horse was gonna make it home, and it just kept fucking running.
Got to be holding her head, thinking, "Wow, you're killing us already. This is embarrassing." I mean, that horse looked like something from River Downs. That horse did not look like an impressive. He didn't look like Tisnow. He didn't look like Farrow.
Oh no, it wasn't any. Yeah, exactly. I agree that the field, and I think probably the COVID from last year probably hurt this whole crop. I'm guessing because they weren't able to probably do their full 2-year-old routines that they like to do training these horses. Just probably a lot because nobody could get out and about and work with the horses like they normally would. So that's just a speculation. I don't know that for sure. But
I'm going to take it top to bottom. Quick, I'm going to go through this field. There's only there's 10
more. Yep.
So we're going to start off with one Ram. I just don't see him getting a slice of this. Too cheap. Only 3 starts off of his maiden, or 2 starts off his maiden win. And he won for a maiden tag. For him to even get in here, they must be doing someone a favor. I mean, I don't even know how he quite gets in.
Out of American Pharaoh with Dean Wayne Lucas, that's the only the connections.
Dean Wayne Lucas is legendary.
Right.
He still shows up with the cowboy hat. So
the connections look great and the pedigree looks great, but I agree that I don't think this horse is quite good enough. That's just my gut feel. And he ran the Derby. At this point, I'd be looking for a new shooter if I was going to go off the reservation. I don't think. I agree. I don't think the 1's the right horse.
So going to the 2 with Cohen, this horse, he's got the races. He's got the racing in his belt. Just sits way too far back. They'd have to mix it up unbelievable for this horse. But I could see him maybe getting into the Super, maybe 4th.
I like the 2. I actually like the 2 and kind of agree with your setup scenario. If they suicide up front, I can see this horse coming down the middle of the track trying to catch him late. Diodoro, David Cohen, Laya Band.
He's a smart rider. I mean, he knows how to read the form. He knows what he knows how the race is going to go. You know what I'm saying? He's smart. And he's
like say sit back and probably try to make one big run from about the 3/8 in is what I would guess. Probably not. If I was this horse and I was riding him, I'd probably keep him back as long as I could.
Right.
And turn him loose for one run.
Try to make a sneak run up the rail.
Right. So that would be nice, right? Ideally, or else just get out clear so you don't get slowed down. That's the other thing with the trip. Sometimes you'll give it up to go outside just to make sure that nothing interferes with your run, And
look, you can't take that turn wide. If you're going to swing out,
you got to be right. It's got to be your position. You got to cut the angle and get out there. I agree. Like Zenyatta used to do. Mike Smith used to do that shit with Zenyatta. Yeah. She would go way outside, but he would diagonal that fucking cut. He would steer like a damn.
Well, you already jumped to my pick because to me, he's the brainiac jockey, Mike Smith. There's no one smarter at riding right now.
I love Mike Smith. I love Zenyatta was my favorite horse, but he rode her so many times. So, yeah, I respect him for damn sure.
Now
keep in mind.
Now, the 3 today, Medina, I'm going to toss.
Me too. I do that.
Yeah. Like an all-out gut win. I don't see him being left alone. And I think the stalker is going to be his stablemate. The racing uncoupled. Bob Baffert has the 10.
10. I like the 10. So there we go. So I think we kind of agree on that. I don't like the 3. I think the other Baffert horse is probably the one you better keep your eye on, and that's the 10.
Going to the 4.
And that's the new shooter theory again, right? Mike Smith, the horse didn't run the Derby, sitting fresh, street sense.
Yes.
With Tappet behind it. That the pedigree's there. The connections are there. Mike Smith and Baffert, and the horse is fresh.
Those owners are always money. Gary's and Mary West stables. They're always horses. They always have big horses, and they're top connections.
Right. The other, I see that. Yeah, I see Street Sense and Tappet. You got my attention right there. I don't know, like
Going to your fresh theory, the 4 is a fresh face. Chad Brown,
yes,
fresh horse, ready. That horse, to me, makes the ticket.
I agree. We agree. I think we agree on a lot today. I agree with this 4. I do like the 4 too.
The 5, Urban. I think that horse presses with Irad Ortiz on him.
And fades late. That's what I'm hoping for. If this horse wins, I might not win because I'm kind of like a couple others better. But this horse could be in the mix. I think it will be in the mix early. I think this is one of the ones that goes out and tries to press it. And you're right, Irad Ortiz riding. He's probably
great.
He's probably going to try to get it right out there.
Always, you can see him thinking in a race. That guy always knows position. And Chad Brown, if a Chad Brown horse is on the track, it's usually ready to fire. He's a top conditioner, great guy on the turf, great guy for distance horses. Going to so the 5, I figure to press. I would use the 5 before I'd use the 3. I think the pace is going to fold, and I see the 5 going by the 3. I don't see the 3 holding off. And to me, Mike Smith, if he sits 4th, 3rd or 4th under wraps, he goes by these horses like at the 3/4 pole or at the top of the stretch. Because the top of the stretch, you're actually a little bit past the 3/4 pole.
Yeah, you're down. It's a long stretch, but it's not that long. I was like noticing that today. It's probably it's more. What do you think? 3/16 down the front stretch. It's pretty good ways, but it's not the longest I've seen. But it's once you turn in, you still got a nice, at least maybe 3 furlongs to get home from the top.
That inside belt, I used to call it a beltway. When that track, when Laurel and Pimlico is carrying speed, it's like that inner lane is just.
It's like an escalator. I know. It's almost like a walkway, a moving escalator. You just keep going.
And down. They'll go up and down, but the outside doesn't go by.
Can't get by them, right? I agree. I think we're seeing the same thing with this track and the first 5 runners. We pretty much agree with that. 5 is tricky, man. I can't decide on that 5 yet. That's probably going to be one of those things where if this horse wins, or it's probably going to burn me.
He had no shot in the Derby.
None. He didn't. And I agree. And he ran the Derby, which doesn't appeal to me a ton.
The 6 and the 7, I don't see at all. Total toss. The 6.
I don't like that drive. The 6 almost scares me because I don't like nothing about it. I don't like the jockey. I'm not a big fan of the twirling candy cowboy cow. That's not blowing my skirt up.
Yeah, twirling candy. Yeah, you're not going to see much out of that. It's an Argentine-bred mare.
Yeah.
So they started her off on the turf, which seems like where she should have been. So this is just a filler. They had to put someone in.
I know it is scary that I don't like this horse at all, and it's usually one of those kinds that burn me, man. Like I say, I'm sitting here looking at this horse like I wouldn't bet this horse with your money, and that'll be the
solid 50 to 1. He's going to be 50 to 1. Going to the 7.
Yes.
A total unknown.
Curlin, I do see Curlin on there, and Joel Rosario, this trainer guy I'm not familiar with at all.
Yeah, totally unknown.
Maury Heidi Yuki. Yeah. Do you know this guy? I've never heard of this dude.
No.
Maury Heidi Yuki.
No, Rosario's good.
Right. Yeah, Joel's a top rider, and I see Will Take Charge and Curlin. Okay, so the mare is some weird. That must be Japanese. The second down, Yuji. Oh, it's the owner. There you go. That's the owner.
Yeah, that's the owner. Yeah.
The
mare is Dreamy Blues, which is out of a Curlin. So she, unbridled on the top. You got Curlin on the bottom. Definitely can go distance. Definitely got some pedigree. But post 7 doesn't show closing. Still has maiden lines there. I think you got to toss them. You got to have an opinion. You know what I mean? Even if you're wrong, you got to have an opinion. You can't.
I don't think that's the horse. If my gut says that's not the horse, probably. So, like I say, you got to throw. Sometimes you just got to throw horses out just to say.
The 8, I can see 3rd or 4th maybe, because if this speed collapses, either you're going to be totally right with the 3 or totally wrong with the 3. To me, with the favorite, because most people aren't going to handicap this race. Any Triple Crown race, they just follow a favorite.
A lot of the time, yeah. Who they like.
Or they just buy the program, and whoever the favorite is, especially people that are just there for fun, they usually bet the favorite. And a lot of them don't even cash the ticket. In other words, they keep it as a souvenir, $5 win or whatever. So a lot of tickets on these famous horses, they put it in a frame or whatever.
Right, yeah. You just bet the horse to get the ticket. Yeah. They do that at Belmont Stakes, for all the Triple Crown horses.
Right.
Or what.
Triple
Yeah.
Crown winners. Like I got the ticket on them each time.
Right, just in case. They lose again. Oh, but I got this $2 win ticket.
Truthfully, it's one of the toughest days to play. So in the past, I can tell you this, Tony, that in the past, I personally know Frank Miramati, the race caller.
Okay, yeah.
A couple times he spoke to me, and I went, when Faro ran, I think I had 900 to place on him. That was my only bet, and Faro paid as much to place as he win.
Zenyatta used to do that. That's why I would bet Zenyatta to place all the time, because you wouldn't get more than 240, 260 to win. You get the exact same shit. The race Zenyatta lost to Blaine got $3 to place.
Right.
That's like free money, dude. I mean,
no one's looking at it in these big
take
races.
it. Yeah.
No one's going to frame a ticket that says place. All the tickets are on win. So I put $900 some dollars down to place. I went home, watched the race, and when the races were over, I went back and cashed the ticket, and I made like 8 something on the race.
That's good.
I never had to sweat it. And I did that on another Derby horse, another Baffert piece a couple years before that. I don't look to be part of that mayhem. I like being able to sit, watch the races, not hear someone screaming in my ear. But I like watching it on TV, and I get the nostalgia of it. Getting back to the race, the 8 and the 9, I think have too far to come.
I actually like the 9 a little bit. If between those two, I like the 9 more. So and I see they're the same morning line, I can see bookies maybe taking head-to-head bets on that shit. If between those two, I would take the. I always kind of like Medaglia d'Oro. Any kind, I give those horses a chance. I love that. That pedigree line's made me money before, and I like kind of betting them. Almost like the why can't I think of the name? It's not coming to me. Another horse came second to Zenyatta in the Breeders' Cup when oh God. Anyway, it's not coming to me.
Was it an Asmussen horse? Stephen Asmussen?
Yeah, I think so. Yes.
He had some big mares when Zenyatta was running.
Zenyatta was just beautiful. I was trying to think when Zenyatta won in 2009, I believe it was, the Breeders' Cup Classic, the horse that ran second, Giapponti. There we go, Giapponti. That's another horse I like seeing Giapponti. Like say, I know these horses from watching. I've been watching long enough now to where when I look at this pedigree line, I actually remember most of these horses running race. That's kind of disgusting, I know, but you know what I mean? That's kind of degenerate when I can look and know these horses. Oh yeah, I bet that horse. But I'll say the Preakness has been my biggest exotic bet I've ever hit. Came here, and I can tell you the number because I had a T-shirt made with the number. It was the year Looking at Lucky had just lost in the Derby, fast horse, liked it here, so I put the 7 up top. It was Looking at Lucky, and behind it, I like the 11, I like the 5. So the oddball number that I like to do weird math shit. So if I like the 5, I like 11, and the 6 makes the math. 5 plus 6 is 11. So threw the 6 in, which happened to be Jackson Bend, ridden by Rajiv Mirage, which I liked from the Naira circuit back then. I'd been watching.
Yeah,
I kind of liked it.
Yeah.
Right. So I go in and I go 7, cheap ticket, dude, like $2 trifecta, 7 over the 5, 6, 11. And it comes home 7, 11, 6 comes flying to get third. And you wouldn't think, Looking at Lucky was like the second choice or something, 3-1. You think, this try,
right?
Yeah, this ain't gonna pay shit. $1 exacta pay like $18.50. I mean, not exactly. $1 trifecta pay like $18.50. So my $2 ticket got back like $3,700 on like a $12 bet. Yeah, nice. Dude, it blew me. I couldn't believe, and it was all because that 6 got up for third because it was kind of a price.
Yeah, you get a bomb in there and that blows it up. So
but that's how I came up with that 6 was just some random math bullshit, dude. You know, I like the 5, I like the 11, and I like to make the number add up. So that's how I usually pick that random horse, is just by the math.
When a try pays $10,000, it didn't look good going in.
Right. That's what I always tell people, dude. Like, if it looked good, then everybody be betting it. So obviously the way to make money is to have the shit nobody's betting.
And after the race, if you see who's cashing, like, they don't even have a program. You know, that was their house number or their old their old phone number.
The old ladies screaming 4711, 4711.
So I never tell anybody, don't bet that. Like, what do you think?
Me either.
Hey,
no, I put the reason I say bet it's because it'll spread the money out more, and hell, you might win. I'm not going to tell you you're not going to win. Yeah, I've never told anybody not to bet a horse. Who the hell am I to tell somebody who to bet their money on, dude?
So we both agree on a 10.
Yeah.
And, to me, Mike Smith is going to have first call on a backward horse. So
it's going to be tough unless something happens to this 10, dude. I think that's going to be the horse to beat. It's going to be tough to beat it. I'm going to try to maybe beat it. This is going to sound crazy, but I'm looking at like the 2-4-8 or 2-4-9 with that 10. I agree with your 4. I think we both kind of like the 4 coming late.
Well, on your theory, if you toss the 10, right? If you totally toss them, I can see you going with a 2-4-5-8-9 box, right?
And I probably will do something like that.
So, hey, if it totally folds, if it's a total house of cards on the front end, that's what's left, right?
And you might could get the 1 to show. That might be where the one shows up.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about handicapping for 6 months. You have enough money where you can bet every day for 6 months and not have to worry.
Yeah, I'm trying to make sure I'm really reading this right. Yeah, so 2. Are we saying the same horse as 4? You like the 4, right? I mean,
I see the 4. You got to respect Chad Brown. Chad Brown is rarely embarrassed. It's almost every horse he has. He takes a lot of time to methodically.
He's a hard worker, and his horses look like they're hard workers too. You know,
and they're never not ready for the show. Chad Brown's horses on the track, they always look great. They're like Linda Rice in New York. When her on the track, they look like they're in a show ring.
Yeah, she's a good trainer. I do like her, Linda Rice.
Her jockey, Clyde's daughter. And she's always been a great horse person, horseman. And, you can tell that they have a heart for the horse. It's just not just a money-making type of thing, what I don't understand is this whole drug thing. It's the same people continually over and over and over. And then it's the same people that are never caught with drugs. So it can't be just randomness to it. You know what I'm saying? Because there's some people that have been around forever that never get called in. Like in harness, Linda Toscano has always had nice horses. I don't ever remember Linda Toscano getting caught in harness.
Well, that's same like any sport, like college basketball, dude. You have the teams that never cheat with like paying players or whatever. Then you have the schools that continuously, the same coaching, always pushing the envelope. But the good guys, some of the great coaches, like you just never hear it. Like, like my man that just retired in North Carolina, Roy Williams. I can't ever recall in 30 years of that dude coaching that they accused him of paying a player to be on the team. I don't recall.
That? Because I was coming out of OSU with a lot of weird stuff going on at OSU when Urban Meyer had to resign, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of stuff's come at me with that. And what's ironic about when Meyer was rebelled, they don't bring up that for 4 years, he holds the record for most college athletes criminally arrested in a 4-year run at Florida. He's got the record. He had 31 athletes arrested. And that's what
Does that beats Jimmy Johnson's Miami's?
And they don't talk about it. And then he comes in, and he's got all blue chip players at Ohio State on a cream puff schedule.
Yeah, the Big Ten's been kind of. He's a good coach, but we'll see what he do in the NFL. We're about to find out real quick.
Well, like, Tony, I'm ready for the over/under for the year, and I can tell you
under on Jacksonville.
Under.
That's so weird. So I was just talking to a friend. We were saying the exact same shit. Urban Meyer, your number one quarterback, or whatever. You got your pick, got your coach. They're not going to win what people think.
I think
go under
him a lot like this on the sidelines.
or like this, talking, maybe mumbling into his fucking headphone, barking.
And flag
his head doing this shit
for being on the field. He's the most penalized coach in college for being in bounds all the time.
Get off the field.
It's pretty simple, Tony. Like, there's a line. And if the game's on, if you're not playing, you're not supposed to be on the field.
Right, get off the fucking field. You're not even supposed to be on that white strip. That's what the refs want to run up and down the white. If you're in the way, dude, you're going to get hurt them, get the fuck off the field.
I just don't understand how he ever lost with the Buckeyes. Never mind how many wins he had. How did he lose?
Defense was sketchy a couple times, man. He's a decent coach. I like the way he approaches the on the field X's and O's, but everything else he's kind of he whiffs. But I do give him strategically on field. He's a good coach.
Lock of the years, like you already thought.
Under. I agree. So we agree on that also.
Don McKay's record when McKay had the Bucks for most losses.
I know he had the first year they didn't win a fucking game. And then I guess they did finally win a game toward the end of that second year, dude. But, yeah, it was comical. Because didn't care. I mean, like the quotes, I'd have to go back and look them up. He had some of the best quotes.
Your team's execution. And then
I'm for it or something. Right. Yeah, exactly. Those kind of quotes, man. Yes. Yeah. I mean, I'd have to go back and look. There's a bunch of those. Cuz was great for he had on like the Fisher hat, the guy out in the boat fishing. Yeah. He had on like that hat, like he's going out to the beach with the black socks and the sandals shuffling out. It was hilarious.
The Henry Fonda hat. He had the Henry Fonda hat on.
Yeah, exactly. On Golden Pond or whatever, like he's going out. Hey, honey, I'm going bass fishing. I'll be back in a few hours. Yeah, it was pretty bad. Hey, I'm going to give a quick recap of my picks. A couple guys, man, asking. Earlier, Gerard. My MLB Best Bet, San Francisco Giants.
All right, I'm going to write this down. So you got, who's your best bet today? The Giants?
Giants in baseball. Johnny Cueto with the start. In the NBA, I have the New York Knicks. And in the NHL playoff action, I ended up going with the Washington Capitals. That's my 3 plays, Gerard. A little more in baseball. I liked, if you want some action plays, Gerard, I went with the Cardinals, the Nationals, and Detroit. Good luck with those. Getting back to this race, we got to try to put a ticket. I'm trying to think how to. And that's always, I'm good with, sometimes I'm really good with picking the right horses, dude. I really can. But then I don't bet the shit right.
Right. I like the 10 key with the 2, 4, 5, 8, 9.
That's going to be one of my bets. And look, I don't know if you can see. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can see it.
What was can you read that?
2, 4, 9, 10.
So that's exactly what you had the 5, and I was just thinking of throwing the 5 in because it went 4, 4, and 5 makes 9.
There's mine. See the
block? And that's what I was going to end up doing one ticket where the 10's up top. Now here's what I usually do. Like I say, the trifectas, I love to pick the winner. All right, if I'm going to hit a trifecta, I'm thinking in my mind, well, the first thing I got to do is pick the goddamn winner. So I like to put a winner on the top of a tri-ticket and then kind of funnel in the shit behind it.
Right.
Like I said, I like to take the horses I kind of like we're saying the 2, the 4, and then I have to have some random horse. I don't know why, since I ever started horse betting, I just have to put a horse on a ticket like this that I wouldn't bet. I don't really like, and it's just a random. The horse just randomly falls on my ticket. Now I'm going to tell you, I'd say a third of the decent bets I've made have had that horse in it. The tickets I've cashed, that random horse has somehow played into that ticket cashing.
That's where you get the money. The random.
Right? Yes.
You're not going to get money with the favorite.
That's why that's why the ticket's memorable, because it actually paid something, and that bullshit horse would be the one that helped me get paid. So yeah, I think we agree on basically the ticket. I think the 10 is going to be hard to beat. So one of my tickets is going to be exactly like you said, 10 up over the 2, 4, 5, 9. I think that's actually going to be the ticket.
So that's a $12 play for $1. That's what that
$2 try. That's
so $2 you're going 24.
No, it's 12. $1 for 6 with 3 behind it. If I put a horse up top,
you put 3 behind it?
Yes, you can put 3 behind it for 6.
Yeah, you're right. It's 12.
Right. So $2 ticket, cheap, $12 ticket, guys. $2 trifecta, 10 over the. Now we went 4 horses behind this. You're right. I'm wrong. So if we go 2, 4, 5, 9, that's $24 on a dollar.
$2 is 24.
2, 4, 5, 9.
Yeah. So it's 12 for $1. 2 is 24.
Okay.
Now my ticket is a $20 play, and then put him second for another 20 in case he gets snapped on the wire.
Yeah, I'm usually going to pick something else to win, and in a race like this, it's probably going to be the quirky oddball. I'll tell you what, I'm going to do that exact same ticket style, except I'm going to put the 9 where the 10 is. So that'll be my 2 picks for the winners. Are going to be 9 and 10, and just kind of reverse it. Put the 9 on top and 2, 4, 5, 10.
Yeah, why not? Chad Brown. I mean.
I'm just think I'm going to do it because I just like I think this horse has a chance, dude, and it's going to be pretty decent. And I do this all the time. If you give me a decent price, I'll try it, and I don't feel bad if I lose because fuck
right,
it.
Yeah.
And you look like a genius. If it comes in 9 with something 210, 925 or something, you look like a fucking genius.
The race in the past, the Belmont's had quite a few times where the longest shots on the board ran 1, 2, 3.
Oh yeah, and that's where you want it. No problem.
A mile and a half. I don't know if you've ever run. If you ran a mile, you barely can make it. To go an extra quarter and then extra half.
You look like a carousel when you're crossing the line, dude. You're going straight up.
Yeah, I mean they just stop.
You do that shit. You like the winners pass by, and you're like,
it's as if they're hitting a hammer.
12,000, and then here comes that last horse.
Yep.
Carouseling across the fucking finish
line. Getting back.
10. I got my tickets.
A couple times early on where the Triple Crown winners, they lost heartbreakers in the Belmont, like in the last couple yards.
Dude, what about the horse? One of my good Kentucky Derby hits was a War Emblem. I think that was like 2003, somewhere in that range. It hit it 18-1, won the Derby, won the Preakness pretty easy at like 5-2. But yeah, it was a heartbreaking loss. It just kind of got swallowed up that last 200 yards at Belmont, dude.
That's a long way. That stretch.
It got swallowed up.
They start going like this. They just start floating.
Gee, especially when you try to carry the pace and try to finish, dude. Yeah, I felt bad, and the horse tried everything he had, and that's one you don't see a ton of. I don't ever see him pedigree. Like any horses out of War Emblem. I just don't see many. And
well, I was looking at the pedigree today. It's really odd. It's almost as if like all the big money stayed away, not knowing how the economy was going to be or whatever, because there's a lot of moderately priced horses in this race.
Honor Code with Unbridled Song. I can't imagine that being huge money. And that Twirling Candy, although you never can tell. I mean, that doesn't always mean everything. But
well,
like you
funny,
said,
the one was one of the highest priced yearlings.
yeah, and you can see why any of these first horses out of American Pharoah is going to be the big money horses. You know, until they show that they don't win or something, then they might start going down.
Right.
But right up front, they're going to command big money.
Well, good luck on your sports plays today.
Yeah, and same, man. I'm going to enjoy the race. So basically, for me, if the 9 or the 10 wins, I'm going to have a chance to maybe hit something. I'm kind of going to, and I'm not going to be putting a big money down on this, but I'm going to try to enjoy it. And probably an exacta box with all of those, 2, 4, 5, 9, 10. So all the horses exacta box, and that's probably going to be one of those where if I win, I might still lose. We'll see.
Yeah,
if I get the wrong combination.
Favorite out. The 3's going to be favorite. Anything we catch is going to be value to it.
Yeah, you're right. Well, exactly. I'm ignoring the 3.
If you're wrong, you're wrong. It's like in the playoffs in a baseball game when you got the big chalk pitcher on the mound. I'd rather bet against him because he's not going to stay. He's not going to be in 9 innings. You know what I mean?
Right. It depends.
Baseball. You don't have to beat him. You just have to.
You got to beat the team. And that's why I always go by what's the team's record when a pitcher starts. That's like my bet. Everybody looks at wins, losses, ERA, and all that. What does the team do when he starts? Because that'll encompass their defense, the lineup, the bullpen, everything that happens behind the pitcher kind of determines whether you win or lose. You know, obviously, if you've got a good pitcher, that will help you win. But if everything else sucks, kind of like the dude for the Milwaukee Brewers this year, the Burns guy. He's been pitching great. He's probably, Cy Young contender right now. But the team's like not even 500 in his starts or right at it because they suck. They don't score any runs when he pitches. Classic DeGrom. That's going to be Gerard. Let me answer your question there. The Preakness is race 13 today.
Yes, race 13.
Race 13, 3:47 Pacific time.
And that's not the last race. There's a
14
after that.
Yeah,
it's actually 14 races.
But the race we were discussing, Gerard, is the Pimlico Race 13. Like I say, 3:47 Pacific is the scheduled post time for that one. And various tickets. Yes, Gerard. For me, for my trifecta, I'm going to do a ticket with the 9 up top. The numbers I like are 2, 4, 5, 9, 10. And I'm going to do 2 different trifectas, one with the 9 up top, one with the 10 up top, with everything else behind it. And I'm going to do an exacta box with all those in it. That's probably all. I'm not really going to go heavy on this. I'm just going to try to get lucky and enjoy it.
And I'll catch up with you for the Belmont.
Belmont sounds good, Vic. Good luck today. And I'm out of here. Lou, is Lou still there?
Yeah, he's somewhere. I think you might be able to catch him. He's on his mobile phone.
I was just going to say he's going to have to. You're going to have to turn it off from your end. I can't control it, or you could just leave.
Let me see. Okay. All right. Good.
All right.